Hello, everybody. It's your host with the most, Andy Smith, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry. And today we're looking at a couple books. Joe Kubert, A Golden Age Index, and Kubert, Collected Works, Volume 1. We're going to start with this. This book is a sketchbook. It is oversized. I can't remember. We'll see when it came out. This actually collects, it's kind of a family sketchbook. So it starts with Joe Kubert, and then it has work by Andy and Adam as well. Okay, so it came out in 2010. I think they put this out. I don't even remember where I got it. I mean, I got it at a convention, but besides that, it might have been at a table they were at. So anyhow, you know, as far as sketchbooks go, it's not super intense, but I'm a huge Kubert junkie, so it's good enough for me. Here we've got, this is a prelim, it looks like, for a Superman cover that Joe did. I actually do own this issue. I don't recall the issue number off the top of my head. It looks like it's on tracing paper, and it's cool. You know, you don't see the monster back there. It takes place during wartime, which is fitting for Joe. And then some of this other stuff, I don't know what it's from. Some stuff is from Life Drawing. They did do, I'm pretty sure they did a statue based on Joe's work, and they did a Batman. So you got a sketch there, and then a close-up of the hand position. Said Life Drawing stuff. Sergeant Rock. This is almost like a artist edition in a way, because these aren't scanned from full colors, but they're scanned nice grayscale. This is from 242, Our Army at War, 1972. Just love the inking on this stuff. Look at the variety in faces. Battle roster of Easy Company. Weepy Willie. Wild Man, Whistler, Zach, Jackie Johnson, Farmer. Man, great stuff. Beautiful Enemy Ace cover. Weird War. I mean, Joe was just such a master at doing covers, no pun intended, that drew you into the stories. This is from a book he did based around Vietnam, and it was shot just like this from pencils that he did. So really cool. Very cool Sergeant Rock, just character sketch. Don't really know what it was used for. Don't know when he did it. This is from Tex. Tex is a Western serial graphic novel series from Italy that has just a luminary, great artist drawing individual graphic novels, and Joe did one. I actually have an Italian version, and then Dark Horse reprinted it so in English, but their reprint is smaller format, smaller than comic book proportions. The Italian version is like 8.5 by 11, so you can really see the art. Joe Kubert Hawkman statue that they produced. I know Joe's known for Sergeant Rock, but I love his Hawkman stuff. I'm a superhero guy, and that's probably the most he did. Very nice. Adam does a lot of stuff like this on toned paper with whiteout and such. Now we get to Adam. The following artwork is collected from some of my favorite work. These pieces are intended to give a glimpse into the creative process. Hope you enjoy looking at them as much as I did drawing them. 2009. And here you go. Look at that right out of the gate. Toned paper. Andy doesn't do as much of that type of stuff. I mean, really, it's kind of unforgiving, because if you mess up, I'm not exactly sure how you would go in and white out stuff to fix it. Love this. Just the lack of detail on the motorcycle draws your eye up to, I believe it's Gambit up there, or just some character. Ultimate X-Men number 17. Look at the detail on that cover. Those pencils, holy crap. And these covers were painted by Richard Eisenoff, digitally painted. Oh, this was great from a Wolverine. These were painted by, I believe, the Hildebrandt brothers painted these for the actual cover. Just great cartooning in there. So vicious and just wow. Adam had a great run on the Incredible Hulk. And, you know, he just did more experimentation. This wasn't toned paper. This was basically toning with the side of the pencil and then going in with the eraser to pull out highlights. He did a single issue called Last Will and Testament, Geoforce. Adam drew it. Joe didn't ink the entire book. He inked some of it, though. And just seeing Joe ink over his sons is fantastic. Joe might have inked the cover as well. I'm not sure. And then we do get some of the great Wolverine stuff that he did. These are inks by, I think that's Mark Farmer. Dan Green did inking as well, but I'm pretty sure this page is Mark Farmer. That cross-hatching, those mountains in the background, just the atmosphere and the texture. Beautiful work. Love the lighting on this Wolverine right here. The reflective light. There needs to be a collection of, there needs to be an omnibus. You know, they did an omnibus for Art Adams, and they did an omnibus for, you know, Rob Liefeld. I think there needs to be an omnibus for Adam Kubert. I really do. I mean, besides that blip at DC where he did the Superman stuff, he is a Marvel guy through and through. Now we get the Andy stuff. I've always found it interesting to view comic art through its various stages leading up to the production of the full-color comic. You can see the thinking behind the sketches, the fluidity in penciled art, and the beauty of brushstrokes in the inked piece. I've led a charmed life as a comic book artist, from Batman to X-Men and many more in between. I've been given the opportunity to breathe life into great characters. I can't see myself doing anything else. Andy Kubert, 2009. Speaking of Batman, pencils, well, I should say sketch, and in final inks. Love the high contrast there. You know, it's hit or miss for me. I like Andy's stuff just as much as I like Adam's. I love the Superman stuff Adam did, but this stuff by Andy, his Batman stuff was great. This is from I think it was 1602. Looking at my bookshelf once again because I know I own it. Yeah, Marvel 1602. It was shot from Andy's pencils. Super tight pencils here. Character design for the Man-Bat. His Batman work I thought was fantastic. I bought the single issues, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just get the trade to save space. And of course, those single issues are worth money now because that's how my life goes. But that's okay. I get comics for fun. This is a great grayscale that he did for Ultimate X-Men number 50. I believe Richard Eisenoff did full colors over it, digitally painting like. Really nice depth in it. Here's a great cover for X-Men 55, inked by John Dell. John is just great working over anybody. Andy had a great run on X-Men, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but he had a great run on Captain America, which I really, really loved. Joe came back and did a 6-issue Sergeant Rock thing, and Andy did covers for it. It's very cool to see Andy draw Sergeant Rock, you know, son following the father. I love the depth that is in this. I love the planes and the sky. Just, you don't need a lot of detail because the focus is on Sergeant Rock. Great Joker. Andy did, what was it? Whatever Happened to the Batman? I think that was the name of it. Inked by Scott Williams. Guys, go get that. I love seeing Scott Williams ink different artists, and he just did such a great job over Andy. I forgot, Andy also had a fantastic run on Thor, which, I mean, he just drew Thor so larger than life and just epic. He hadn't done much Spider-Man, but here's a cover. He did. Very cool, very whacked out and exaggerated, which, you know, you think of Spider-Man, and I think that's great. I believe that was a Thor cover. Here's a Batman. Really just nice design with the bats cutting down, different angle, the cape. Just lots of energy in that, even though it's a simple drawing of, you know, basically Batman, a cape, and bats. But you just see how you play with the different aspects of it, like the cape and such, and the way you spot the blacks to really juice up the dynamics of it. And that's it. Oh, and then here you go. Back here, it shows what the stuff is from. So that Sergeant Rock was from 2005 is when Joe did that. So almost 20 years ago. So there's that. And I didn't think that was enough for a book look. So I have 2 copies of this Golden Age Index. This was put out. Oh, let's see when it was put out, actually. And this is all obviously Joe Kubert. Introduction by Al Dellings. He says, I've been studying and copying Joe Kubert art since 1947, and I've got most of his lines down quite well. I contacted Joe a few years ago and told him I'd be available should he need any of his Hawkman material redrawn. Joe was impressed with the samples I'd sent. He gave me a chance to work on some of his tour material that was in the process of being republished. The project opened the door for a dream I've had for a good many years, a Joe Kubert Golden Age Index, complete with most of his best artwork. To make it right meant redrawing a few hundred pages. The time seemed right, so I got right to it. After I had about 120 pages completed and then photostat and sent Joe Xerox copies along with my outline for the index, Joe couldn't have been more enthusiastic. We collaborated on a few of the problems, and here are the results. So almost everything in this, there's an interview with Joe. Everything in this, Al recreated, but he did it so faithfully that you'd swear it was printed right from Joe's work. Now, I'm guessing some of the Golden Age stuff is obviously lost because it's so old. I know Joe had the habit of keeping his artwork, but in the Golden Age, when he first started, you know, he wasn't the Joe Kubert that we know. He was just some kid, you know, Joe Kubert starting out. So Al painstakingly reproduced all these. And if Joe signs off on this stuff, then, you know, hey, if it's good enough for Joe, I say it's good enough for us. So to me, this is like looking at some of Joe's originals. I mean, these are from the 40s. This is some stuff like when Joe was 19 years old. You might look at it and go, bah, what's so great about it? Joe was 19 years old. This is my favorite cover right here from this time period. I own this actual book. It's not in great condition. It's a 3.5 because I do have it graded. I just love this cover. It's basic, but once again, 19 years old. I love that figure, the stylization of it. You know, I don't know what Al did with these originals. But man, I probably couldn't even afford just the reproduction. I'm pretty sure most of these Hawkmans have been reprinted in the hardcover books. I don't own it, but I probably should because I love the amount of black that's in these pages and such. Joe was influenced by Mort Meskin, and you can definitely see that here. There's a great book from Shadow to Light, The Life and Art of Mort Meskin. I'll have to do that for a book look. And you can see Joe's influence. These wings always trip me out because I'm just like, where did he get that concept for doing wings like that from? Pretty trippy. So yeah, this just reprints a lot of great Golden Age stuff by Joe. And it's great because, back then it was get the work done. Don't stress over it, get it done. It's like Kirby, throw that eraser away. Or I think Buscema said that. They just had to get it done. And knowing that and looking at this work, it's great. I love the high contrast here, indicating these buildings down there. It's cool because you see what Joe has become, or did become, but looking at this early stuff and knowing what his stuff looks like, fully realized when he really came into a style, you can see where he was going with it. Big figures of Hawkman, as big as he can at least get for these pages. I mean, when I first bought this, I'll be honest, I didn't realize Al redid all these pages. I don't even think I read that beginning. I was just so goosed on wanting to look at the artwork. They say I have 2 copies of this. Why? I don't know. I just loved it that much. I got to draw 1 issue of Hawkman in my career. I got to ink it myself. I still own the entire issue, and the very last page of the book, I did a tribute to Joe where Joe would end issues of Hawkman with, at the bottom, with a Hawkman and Hawkgirl head and like a moon and a couple silhouettes of birds. And it would say, what was coming in the next issue, and I did that. And truth be told, there were a couple poses of Hawkman in the book I swiped directly from Joe Kubert Hawkman drawings because I just loved them so much. And one was from the Who's Who shot of Hawkman that Joe did. So if you got that book, go look at it. I can't remember the issue number, and see if you can find what it was I swiped. I didn't get to do the cover, but that's okay because Kevin Nolan did, so I will always take a second seat to Kevin. I would have loved it if Kevin could have inked some of the book. These are some more covers. If I was loaded and didn't have to worry about cash, I would probably try and collect all these original comics that Joe did the covers for. Now you can see the difference. He changed up the way he did the wings. This is almost 30 issues later from the one of my actually 33 issues later from my favorite cover. He changed the wings. I'm not sure whose idea it was to change it to just a face mask compared to that. Joe did a Dr. Fate job. Oh, see right there. I love that figure. Yeah, it's messed up. It's funky. But I don't care. And look at that horse. Horse is kind of Frazetta-esque. God, I haven't looked through this book in years. I love doing these book looks. I hope you guys enjoy these as much as I enjoy doing them with you. Just, oh man, the silhouettes. Like I said, the black placement, so much to learn just even from this stuff. That figure of Hawkman right there is so freaking cool. And Joe's not even into that full bore rendering that he's known for, even at this stage. Nice big figure of Hawkman, Solomon Grundy, born on Monday or whatever, however it goes. Nice shot of Hawkman flying there. Oh. It's funny because you think, well, gee, if you like this art so much, you're an artist, you could reproduce a page. I've seen that. I reproduced a 2-page John Byrne spread. Everybody looks at it and they're like, oh my God, you own that original art. Nope, I just reproduced it line for line. But you know what? When I do it, it just doesn't seem as cool. I've got this John Buscema splash page featuring Tiger Shark that there's an artist in France, Joe Jusco, introduced me to, who does line for line, even the lettering, faithful reproductions. And I paid him to reproduce it. And people look at it and they're like, you own that John Buscema page. And no, once again, it's a reproduction. But And sure, I could have probably done it myself, but there's just something about another artist doing it where when I look at it, it just feels like the original. I had Joe Rubinstein, going off on my tangents, recreate a Neil Adams page from the first issue of Green Lantern, Green Arrow that Neil did, that he did pencil and inks on. I had Keith Champagne reproduce a Doug Mahnke Green Lantern splash page for me, because there's no way I'd ever find it for sale. Now, see, these could have been larger on the page, getting back to this. I'm not sure why they're reproduced so small and there's so much dead space around them. Still cool. The Golem here. You can see a little more where Joe's gone with his rendering as he's progressing as an artist. One of Joe's first works was Voltron. Or, wait, Voltron? Volton? Something like that. That was reprinted as a little digest-sized mini comic. And I do own that. And that, once again, that's really cool too, seeing Joe's work that, you know, from when he was like 19. Very nice looking horse. This is cool. Man-Eating Lizards. Eerie 1, Avon Publishing. Once again, the way he spots the blacks in this stuff, very, very nice. Very, very well done. Just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff here. By the way, I did search on Google for that Kuberts Sketchbook. No luck finding it. So no link going to be posted for that. I'll try and do a deeper dive, but I couldn't find it. And this, I'm sure these were on eBay. You can probably find to try and get Sargon the Sorcerer. Notice no Tor stuff in this either. This is all stuff done before Tor. I'm sure with Tor, Joe owns all the original art anyhow, because it was his own thing. That's strong, man. That's great. It's murder. Did a Wildcat job too. Nice figure work there. Nice flow to the panels. Vigilante. Jesse James. Jesse James. So I thought Jesse James was Carmine and Joe. Little known fact, the first Flash story and showcase that Carmine Infantino drew, Joe Kubert inked. Oh, and back to Andy Kubert real quick. Andy actually did a great Kazar run too back in the 90s. Closest you ever get to seeing him doing a Tarzan monthly. Lunar Station, love that figure work there by Joe. You can really see Joe's work coming through. He always signed his stuff too, which I think is really cool. I'm reading through a Steve Ditko book now, and when Ditko first started out in the 50s, his work was very reminiscent of Joe Kubert. Love this Sinbad right there. This is a book I wouldn't mind getting, this Sinbad one. Just great looking horse. And then we end with Hollywood Confessions. And in here, it kind of goes through its little index of what we were looking at. 1945. Joe was 19. He was born in 1926, guys. So 1945. Battle of the Birdmen. They reprinted that story, actually, in an issue of All-Star Squadron, which I own. Either that or was an Infinity. Who knows? More from the index. Or actually, no, wait. This is just the Joe Kubert index in general. This is stuff that's in the book. And then this is just up until when this book came out. Basically an index of what Joe Joe did. So there you go. That is the book look for the week. Joe Kubert Golden Age Index, Kuberts Sketchbook featuring Joe, Andy, and Adam. Thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, share this video, hit the notification bell. Book looks every Tuesday at 8 a.m., every Thursday at 8 a.m., a time-lapse video of me picking a character and doing a drawing. I got some fun stuff coming up for that. This week, I'll just tell you, Garbage Man. That's right, drawing Aaron Lopresti's Garbage Man. So check that out. Like, subscribe, and share. Go sign up for Kor-Drath, The Awakening. The Kor-Drath saga continues. Volume 2 will be launching soon. Hit the sign up page. Get an exclusive Adriana trading card and front of the line shipping when you back the book from signing up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program. Back it today.